Hi, friends. All right. It is the day before we leave for our winter vacation. We are going to head down south, see some family, and head up East Coast, see some more family before we come back home. On the way there, we are actually going to surprise our kids with a trip to Disney World, which I'm super excited about. We leave tomorrow morning. Am I packed? No. Are my kids packed? No. Um, am I going to do anything about it in this next hour? Probably not. Listen, it's nap time, prime relaxing time, and I am not in the mood. I cannot be bothered to pack right now. Why am I like this? I don't know. You know, the grand deity, when he was putting me together and just adding all of those ingredients, I think he added a little too much procrastination spice. It's a problem. It's been a problem since, the day I opened my eyes. Literally. Am I going to change? No. But I think I'll sit here and watch some Handmaid's Tale. And I'll check back in. All right. It is a few hours later. I watched an episode of Handmaid's Tale, and wow, am I yellow. Oh, gotta love military base housing lighting. But I did go ahead and pack our suitcases. So usually when we go on long road trips, we actually have a camper, which is really, really nice, and we use that instead of paying for hotels along the way. And it's just, we love camping, and it's just something that my kids and my husband and I all really enjoy. So because we are making a magical stop along the way, I didn't want to fuss with moving actual clothes from our camper to the hotel room. So we're going to be staying at the location that we're going to. I'm being super vague because my nosy child is upstairs. But anyway, so I didn't want to fuss with moving clothes from the camper to the hotel room. So the stuff that we're going to need just while we're there is going to be in our suitcases. Please ignore the mess that is my house, because when it's packing time, everything else falls to the wayside. It'll be clean before we leave because I like coming home to a clean house. But anyways, suitcases packed, ready to go. Everything else, not so much, but I shall check in later. The little man's getting his bottle. And it's time for some Handmaid's Tale. Have made it to our first stop in Texas, and I am so incredibly tired. I'm sorry that I did not update you guys along the way. Driving with 4 kids is a lot. It's a lot, and I'm sure you can hear them in the background playing around. As I was driving, I decided to listen to Amari and the Night Brothers. So I started this a few nights ago, and it's so good, and it was available in my library, so I went ahead and started listening to it. And of course, when we get to the campground, I have less than 50 pages left, so I'm definitely going to be finishing it tonight, and I will update you guys with my thoughts on it. But so far, 5 out of 5 stars. So good. Such an important book. I have lots of thoughts, but I'm so excited to see how it ends, and I'm definitely going to be picking up the next one. I think it's Amari and the Great Game. So good. But
I'm going to kind of start winding down, get the kids ready for bed, and then I will lay down on my nice comfy bed and finish Amari and the Night Brothers.
Hi friends. It is the next morning. I was so tired last night I could not be bothered to read, so I did not finish Amari and the Night Brothers, but I plan on finishing it in the car. It is very early and someone's very grumpy because it's not his usual environment to sleep in, so sleep did not go well last night. But we are getting ready to get on the road and head to our next stop in Dallas. And it's only like 4 or 5 hours from where we are now, so it should go very, very quickly. So I will definitely finish Amari and the Night Brothers, and I will update you with my thoughts and then what I'm moving on to next. See you in a minute. Hi friends, okay, I'm back several hours later. We've made it to stop number 2 in Dallas, and we are here to visit family and rest before we head to our next stop tomorrow. We're gonna ignore the mess that is my car right now. Traveling again with 4 kids gets messy. But on the way, I've got some reading updates. I finished Amari and the Night Brothers. 5 out of 5 stars, and I realized that I did not even explain to you guys what this book is. So Amari and the Night Brothers is about a girl named Amari Peters, who's 13 years old, and she's just your everyday girl trying to navigate the life of a 13-year-old, but Amari also lives in a rough neighborhood, but she has an amazing mother that, you know, sets her and her older brother Quentin up for potential success in the future. But when Amari's brother goes missing, she makes it her mission to find out what happened to Quentin. Quentin leaves Amari a really peculiar suitcase in his bedroom, and when she opens it up, Quentin's message opens her eyes to a world that she had no idea existed. Then that leads her to the world of Supernatural and the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. There, Amari learns more about, you know, her brother's life, but she is also invited to train to become a part of this bureau. Very apprehensively, Amari agrees with more of the motive to figure out what actually happened to her brother Quentin. And so the story just follows Amari navigating this new world that she is completely unaware of, training to become a part of the Bureau, but also trying to figure out the mystery of what happened to her brother Quentin and his partner. This book, you guys, is so good, so important, and I just wish that everyone were to read this. The way that B.B. Alston sets up this world is so fascinating because the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs kind of functions as a school for these junior trainees to kind of come in and hopefully potentially have a position in this bureau. So that's really interesting, just learning how these several departments kind of function, keeping the supernatural under not control, but just keeping them apart from the known worlds that we know. But also just the mystery of what happened to Quentin and his partner Maria, and just Amari navigating that is super interesting. But I love that B.B. Alston finds a way to make real world issues prevalent in the story through Amari's journey, and the way that he writes the characters handling these very, very tough situations is just beautiful. Amari, like I said before, comes from a very different background than most of the
the kids that she, surrounds herself with. And her mother is such a strong woman to raise two children independently, but also do what she can to make sure that her children are set up for a successful future. So kudos to the mother. And the relationship that we learn that Amari and her brother have is just one that I personally hope my children have together as they grow up. The way that Amari approaches so many obstacles that she's facing, whether it be in the known world, when we first meet Amari and the school that she is with, there is a lot of prejudice against her because she is a person of color, she is African American, and she is poor. And the way that she navigates that and the way that she approaches so many issues that are brought to her, I just commend her for. This story does not sugarcoat anything for Amari, but I think that the way that B.B. Alston has written her resilience and perseverance in these scenarios is just wonderful. And I want so many people to read this book. I am going to run to my students and tell them, read this now. I teach 7th grade, so I think this is so important for so many of my students and the demographics that I teach to read, from both angles, students that can relate to Amari, but students who don't have the same situation of Amari and can really sympathize or empathize with her situation and then apply it to students that they are surrounded with. I think it's just a wonderful story. The mystery is great. The world is phenomenal. 5 out of 5 star read. Please read it. After I finished reading or listening to Amari and the Night Brothers, my daughter and I started Witchlings by Claribel A. Ortega. This is also a middle grade read that I'm very interested in continuing on. My daughter is a struggling reader. I relate to her. Reading does not come easy for her. It did not come easy for me, so I've just been working really hard to not be overbearing because I love reading and I don't want it to turn into a chore for her or a daunting task, but I've been trying to ignite and find things that ignite her interest. And so I got her Witchlings. She likes kind of fantasy. She likes found family and friends. So I was hoping to get this out of this book. Witchlings follows a girl named Seven. Seven is about 12 years old. She is a witch. And in her community, when witches turn 12, they are sorted into a coven. There are, I think, are about 4 main covens, or you could be sorted into the spares. These are the witches that don't fall into the prestigious covens that there are. That is Seven's worst fear, would be sorted as a spare. But on the night of the sorting, Seven is sorted into the spare coven with her arch enemy, Valley, along with another girl, Thorn, who is absolutely adorable. Their coven is not sealed on the night of the sorting, but Seven remembers that there is a clause where witches whose covens have not been sealed can complete an impossible task to seal their coven. If they don't complete their impossible task, they will be witchlings for the rest of their days and lose their power. So, as the story goes on, we will be following Seven, Thorn, and Valley as they work together to complete their impossible task and hopefully seal their coven together. I'm going to go ahead and go inside, spend some time with family, eat some really yummy barbecue, and I will check back in later. Bye!
Hi friends. Yeah, so it's the next morning. So sorry, I did not update you guys at all yesterday after we left. But we are currently in Jackson, Mississippi. Well, outside Jackson at this wonderful campground. Got here late last night. Well, it felt late, but it's that time of year where it gets dark at like 5 p.m. But we got here at dark last night, went and had some yummy Mexican food. then came back and just kind of hung out at the camper. So yesterday, on the road, reading update. My daughter and I did not finish Witchlings. We got a little further in. I think she was just kind of getting burnt out on the audiobook. I could have kept listening, but again, it's more so just getting her into reading. Like yesterday, I listened to some podcasts that I needed to catch up on. If you love true crime podcasts, I love Women in Crime, and that's hosted by Dr. Megan Sachs and Amy Schlossberg, Dr. Amy Schlossberg, and they're both criminologists, so it's really interesting to hear not only the cases that they cover, focusing on women in crime, either women that commit crimes or women that are victims of crimes. They also gave a really good intake with the criminology side of it. So they talk about like theories on why these perpetrators have, you know, gone through with these crimes and whatnot, and they talk about the criminal justice system. So it's not just like a case that you listen to, it's also another perspective when it comes to true crime. Highly recommend, if you listen to podcasts, give it a listen. I also listened to a few episodes of Books Unbound. That's a podcast from a fellow booktuber, Ariel Bissett and Eileen, and I just love their banter back and forth with one another. I love their setup of their podcast. It's a bookish podcast. You can always give a listen if you're interested. Yeah, I didn't do much reading yesterday, but we do have another leg of our trip today. We are going to Pensacola, Florida. We're getting closer and closer to Orlando. So hopefully we can finish Witchlings, and then I have no idea what I'm going to pick up next. We're going to go back inside, finish breakfast, get the RV all ready to move. We're going to hook up and hit the road, and hopefully I'll do better updating you guys. All right, bye. Princesses? Okay, friends, I'm going to go ahead and stop the vlog
at this point. I realize that I have so much footage. This video is probably 30 minutes long and we haven't even gotten through Disney yet. So I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to call it part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 where you see us enjoy Disney World and some more reading on the road. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed our road trip and reading along the way and the anticipation of getting to Disney World. It's been about a few weeks since we've been home and I am still unpacking, getting through laundry. It's ridiculous. So again, thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me the car emoji for the road trip. And in the comments, tell me what are some of your favorite audiobooks to listen to. I'm always looking for new recommendations for when we travel. Please give this video a like and I would love it if you subscribe. I hope that you have a wonderful day, afternoon, morning, night, evening, whatever it is you are having in whatever place in the world that you are having it in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!